Hi, kindergarten, first and second grade leaders. We're preparing for February 7th in our series called The Main Thing. In this series, we've been taking a look at some of Jesus's parables or teachings. And remember, a parable is a story that helps us understand something big about who God is or about what he desires from us. And so Jesus used everyday things. Today we're going to talk about a sheep and about a person who was lost. But he uses those everyday things to help us understand something much bigger. And so in your lesson today, you're going to be looking at 3 parables that Jesus uses to teach us about himself and why he came as our Savior to save us. Jesus looks for people who are lost, people who do not know him. He came from heaven to earth because of his incredible love. So, a couple things we see in our lessons today is God desires for every single person to have the opportunity to believe in Jesus, and he will spend our entire lives helping direct us, especially at those times where we're lost, back to him. And he has done that for so many people. I can't even tell all the stories. And for me as well, there have been times where I have doubted, and God has been merciful in showing me ways that I don't have to doubt him, that I can trust him, and I can trust him with more and more and more of my life as I continue to grow. The other thing that we see is that God came not only to save sinners, but even those people who think that they know who God is or what they're supposed to be doing, but they're using the doing as a way to make themselves right with God. And there's not anything any of us are going to do that's going to make us right with God, except for one, and that's to believe in Jesus. After that, there's nothing in our doing that's going to bring about salvation. What doing will help us do is doing will help us grow, and doing will help us grow in our understanding of who God is and why we can trust him with so many things. So that is your lesson today, and let's look at some of the things you have in your small group time. This is your small group social activity. Remember, our social activities are for us to help build relationships with kids. When we have fun experiences that we can laugh and have fun telling stories about, then we have a relational equity where we can share bigger things. And we purposely make this a game that anybody could step in and play at any time. They don't have to already know how to play, because we want for it to be non-threatening for anybody, and so that they can see that there is a place for them in your group. So take a look at your leader guide for the exact instructions for this. If you want to try to figure out how to play red light, green light, 1, 2, 3 before you get to your small group, check it out online. There's a YouTube video that shows some kids playing this game so that you can get a good picture of how to play that game before you get here. Then you are going to create these cute little crafts with your kid. This is one that I've already put together for you to see how it looks when it's finished. So what each kid gets is a green cup, a popsicle stick, a green piece of paper. They can use some of the flower stickers to decorate their paper. And then there's also a sticker in here that you can give one to each kid once they've got their cup put together, that reminds us what we're learning about in our lesson today. And remember the story about the lost sheep? Well, the kids can tell the story of the lost sheep by using their cup and finding the lost sheep. The only thing that they'll have to do is cut their paper. We haven't pre-cut that for them, so let them use their scissors to cut their paper. And then they can use tape in the sticker to tape their grass to their cup. And then I use the sticker just to close up my grass onto my cup. I also used tape to tape the popsicle stick and the little sheep. Oh yeah, each kid gets a sheep too. I forgot to tell you that. And they can color their sheep if they would like to and take their cup home with them when you are done with this activity. As you are doing this activity, that might be a great time for you to open up with some of your discussion questions that you have. And then your last activity that you have is your key passage activity. Here's your key passage, and you have a bean bag. And if you will notice in your leader guide, there are some highlighted words. What you want to do is when you say one of those highlighted words, the kids are going to pass the bean bag. And maybe you want to say that highlighted word like with emphasis or in a funny voice if you want to, so that the kids know when you hit one of those words. But I also encourage you, as you hit one of those words, to use your leader guide as a way to start discussion about those words so they can understand what each word means. In this key passage activity, we do this so that kids will realize that we don't make these stories up. We don't make up any of the things that we're talking about with them, that we all use the same source, the Bible, as a way to understand who God is and what God desires of us. And so by helping them see these words and see where this comes from, that will help them begin to make the correlation between the Bible and what they are learning and growing and the things they're experiencing in small group. You pray with your kiddos. You also have some coloring pages. Thank you so much for leading. We love you guys, and I'll see you soon.